All right, everybody, welcome. We are here with our Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, our Shloka study group. We're diving into Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, first canto, chapter 2, Divinity and Divine Service, which is basically a summary of the essence of Bhakti from the very beginner to all the way to the highest stages. It is the summary of the questions that are given in the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. And there is a little acronym that we put together, divine. The first 5 verses is for the dignify, glorifying the questions, the sages, the Sukadeva Goswami, the guru. Then I is for increase answer. That's verses 6 and 7, where the famous Savai Pumsam Paro Dharmo verse is there. If you're joining us on Facebook, you can DM me and you can join in on our, you can put in questions or come in a live chat. Just DM me and I can send you the Zoom link. And so inquiries answered, that's a famous verse. What's the essence? What is this whole spiritual culture supposed to be leading us to? What are we supposed to be getting out of it? What are we supposed to focus on? Savai Pumsam Paro Dharma, the highest Dharma, the Paradharma, not the Upadharma, the lower Dharmas, or what's the supreme Dharma, is that Bhakti. And that Bhakti is clearly described as a haituki, without causes, without material motivations, and a pratihata. It's unbroken, it's incessant, it's consistent, it's always happening. And that kind of dharma will completely satisfy the self. And then it's further described, Vasudevi Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janati Ashubhairagyam Jnanam Cha Yada Haitukam. That bhakti is very special. It actually brings knowledge, it brings realization. The things that are in other yogic paths are kind of prerequisites. Those prerequisites are supplied to the beginner in bhakti. So you don't even have to have those prerequisites. And then verses, what's that? We're now on 8, 9, 10. It starts to, the V is for the kind of discussing this value, but what is, the question was, what's a real value? And here's, it's discussing the very special position of this path of devotion. And then it comes to describe, okay, that life is meant for self-realization, life is meant for understanding the truth. And so then what is that truth? That is described in the 11th verse. Vedanti tattva vedas tattvajya jnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavaniti subjete. The truth is understood, is called by 3 different features. There's the impersonal Brahman, the all-pervading Paramatma, which has a localized personal form. This is like where we're seeing this intelligence that is given throughout creation, and the direction that we see that is behind everything. Like you find that the seasons are happening, all these things are happening that make it possible to have life. And then there's the Supreme Person, Bhagavan. And then it continues on, verse 12 is Tatshadanam Munayo Jnanavayagya Uktaya Pashanti Atmini Chatmanam. And so by this process, we get to actually have perception of this truth by the process of bhakti, which is equipped with jnana and vairagya, knowledge and realization. And what do we got after that? Then he starts to, that's D-I-V-I. Now we're still on the V part. The V, he's describing the value, the special thing, bhakti. And so, atapumbir dvija shreshta. So the whole culture there, if you study the 4 Vedas, you'll see that there's such an emphasis upon culture. But here it's saying that the actual whole dharma is not meant for some of the lower things that it seem to be propound or pushed forward in the Vedic literature, such as economic development, financial security, wealth, or even liberation. So Dharma is actually for ultimate liberation, a connection, divine. Dharma syahya pavargasya. This one's about, Dharma is meant for, this whole Varnashram is meant for Haritoshanam, giving satisfaction to Hari, the Supreme Person. And then we were on, and after that, verse 13, Tasmat ekena manasa. Therefore, this Bhagavan Sattvatam Patihi Shotavya Kititavyascha Jayascha Puja Nityada. So therefore, we should just keep our mind just with this great dhyana, this great focus, this ekena manasa. Just keep your mind on one thing. That great protector, Bhagavan Sattvatam Pati, the protector of the saintly, the honest. And how do we do this? Shrotavya Kirtitavyascha Jayascha Bhujas Nityada. So it's just hearing, chanting, meditating, or remembering, and offering our worship of Krishna. And what is this? What are some of the qualities of this? Yad anudyasina yukto. It's like a asina, like a sword. This dhyana, this meditation upon Krishna. It karma granti nibandhanam. We are bound by strong bounds of karmic bondage. So it cuts it. Chindanti kovidastasya kona kurya kataratim. So this is such kona kurya kataratim. So this cuts. Those who are intelligent, they take advantage of how powerful bhakti is, because sometimes we talk about generational abuse, generational trauma, so how do we cut away all this karmic bondage? How do we could also try to change our behavior, but here we can also even wipe away the pushing forward of destiny, get pushing us to experience various karmas and various kutams, means that various tendencies. Like, for example, if a person is a thief, they might get a certain karma of misfortune, but they also get the karma of the tendency to be a thief. So this karma is cut away. We can get that even our tendencies that are holding us back in our spiritual progress. And then what's that? That Shushusho Shadadanasya. I think that's next. I think that's the next verse after that. Is it right? Let's take a peek. Let's take a little peek. Just trying to.
Yes.
Shushusho Shadadanasya. Okay. And so that's beginning the I section. This is a really exciting section, which is the increments of bhakti. And these are 9 steps. And so it all starts off with a little bit of eagerness, a little bit of interest. And this comes from, and we can, Śrīmad Sevaya Vipra, we can get this by somehow connecting to saintly persons and being inspired by them. And then we want to serve them. We want to do something in assistance. When we see somebody doing a good thing, we might want to assist them. And then that actually brings about that plants the seed of devotion within our heart. And then we start to engage in ourselves in activities of devotion. So that's Shushoshadhanasya Vasudeva Kata Ruchi Śrīmad Seva Vipra Punya Shravana Kirtana. Then the next one is Shrinvatam Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hiryantashtokhya Badrani Vundanoti Suhritsatam. So then it's starting to talk about when we start to engage in bhakti, various things, all the various things start to happen in our heart. We start to become plans of various misgivings. We start to actually just reduce stress by having better life habits. You know, just following sattvic life habits, like not eating horrible things, you find your mind more peaceful. Not dumping horrible substances into your body, you're fine. Also, you'll be more peaceful. Not having illicit sexual connections where you're just jumping from. This is not bringing happiness. This is bringing anxiety and distress. And so, just even the sattvic lifestyle. So I'm going to pull up. Okay, let me pull my screen. So you can see. Let's see. All right. Okay. So we were looking at this. A few things we can look at. We got this thing. That's pretty exciting. This is when I read this book called the Madhurya Kadambini by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. And I read this book and I was like, man, someone needs to draw out this whole description that they're talking about. It makes such a cool drawing. Let me see if I can draw it. Now, I don't even show you the drawing that I drew because it's so terrible. And I didn't get really far into it until somebody said it's already been done. I was like, whoa, and it was like way better I can even imagine. And so, yeah, there's our field of the heart. And so the root of it, you see, in the stem of it is a sadhu sangha, the association with saintly people, spiritually connected people who are connected to whom? With the Supreme, connected with divine. That nourishes us. And so, as we discussed in our previous class, one of the first kind of things that we kind of start to go over is a false sense of enthusiasm. Kind of a little puffed up. We might think we're like almost like Jesus Christ after just doing a few prayers and mantras, are becoming very, very serious and then very, very lackadaisical, are very renounced, and then are just kind of our resolve is going back and forth, and then we're really struggling Vishaya Sangara. We're just struggling with our strong attachments to enjoy the temporary world, and then we're also struggling just not with the things that we're trying to stop doing, but struggling with the things that we're trying to do, the spiritual additions that we're trying, like chant rounds and go to holy places and offer obeisances and offer food and do artis. And then the last, we also get entangled in the pleasure of the glorifications that we get when people see that we've matured in so many different ways. There's some glorifications that come. And then today, this verse is going to actually cover another level of things that become addressed by the practice of bhakti. So previous one was Shrinvatam Svakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtanaha Girjantasto Hyabhadrani Vidhanoti Suhritsatam. And so Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has had it described both in as 4 stages and also as in not 4 stages, 9 stages, but also in 14 stages. Let me see if I can change this way the book reads, that it will just flow instead of just flipping pages. I don't think it allows it. Maybe here. It's not even doing anything. It's just frozen. Okay. And how about I'll pull up the verse on the database. And this is one, most of the time we weren't looking for rote English memorization, but this is one because we all actually recite this. Often the speaker will recite it before class, the attendees will recite it with them. This is a very good verse to, we could also work on the English as well. Nashta, so I'll just read and we'll read the verse in translation. Nashta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. Naishtiki. So abhadra. Dana K, does that sound any abhadra? Have you heard anybody's name with that before? Any sister of Krishna?
Oh, isn't Subhadra?
Subhadra, yes. So Bhadra, it means, it's like Mangala. Mangala means auspicious. And Amangala is inauspicious. Bhadra is auspicious. And Abhadra, inauspicious. Misfortune, unwanted things. Mangala Mangalebhyo Pi Sarva Mangala. What is this? A beautiful verse on it's a little, what do you call it? Squirrel. Mangala Mangalebhyo Pi. I don't know, it's such a beautiful song. Mangalebhyo Pi. Madaram. Madhuram Madhurebhyopi Mangalebhyopi Mangalam Bhavanam Bhavanebhyopi Hari Nameva Kevalam. That is saying the holy name, more sweet than all other sweet things, more auspicious than all other auspicious things, the greatest purifier of all purifying things. The holy name of Shri alone. Shri Hari is alone is everything. Mangala Madhuram Madhurevyopi. So that's Mangala. Sorry, that was a little squirrely. So Abhadra. Nashta means destroyed. Like we know this. This is a famous verse. Yoga Nashta Parantapa. It's a famous verse. What's the first line? This is Evam Parampara Praptam Imam Rajarshayo Viduhu. And then it's Mahat something. That Evam Parampara Praptam Imam Rajarshayo Viduhu Sa Kalena Mahata Yoga Nashta Parantapa. This great science of spiritual knowledge has been passed down from teacher to student, but due to the influence of Kala, time, the whole thing has become destroyed. And therefore I have now come again to speak this message to you, O Arjuna. So Nashta, Prayeshu, and Prayeshu, he says almost to nil, so destroyed almost to nothing. Abhadreshu, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Nityam is always or eternal. So always, it means consistent, but it also means eternal. So always Bhagavata Sevaya. Prabhupada makes a point on this verse. Srila Prabhupada says, doesn't say Bhagavan Sevaya. It says Bhagavata Sevaya. Now, there, of course, are two types of Bhagavats. There's the book Bhagavat, and then there's the person Bhagavat. And here Prabhupada said, this is that Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. We're serving the devotees, and we serve the words of Krishna. But here it's like we're getting that ability to hear the words of Krishna first by serving his devotees. That's that when we then they actually open that. That's like we have this famous verse about the guru and disciple. That then this when there's service and the guru is imparting knowledge. So Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Bhagavati Uttama Shloke. Shloka, we know this. Uttama means like transcendental, the best, supreme. Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Becomes Nishta, becomes fixed. This is moving through the various stages. Carmen, can you name out of the 9 stages? The 9 or the 14 are kind of not as well known, but the 9 are much more well known. What's the first stage called in Sanskrit?
Of like devotional service?
Yes. First one is? Ends with a da.
My mind just went blank.
Vishwakarma Prabhu knows it.
Shraddha.
Shraddha, yes. So Shraddha. Then, and Shraddha means?
Faith, a preliminary faith.
Preliminary faith, yeah. Just like a little bit of willingness to practice. And Prabhupada also translated it or spoke about it as eagerness, eagerness. That's he spoke about eagerness, enthusiasm, interest. Then comes, what's the next one? Is sadhu sangha. Yeah, and what does that mean? Carmenji.
Sadhu sangha. It's like together. It's like coming together to talk about Krishna.
Yeah, so you sangha, fellowship with the sadhus, with those who are practicing spiritual life. Or sadhu sangha means that your together interactions are based on hearing and chanting. You're hearing and discussing spiritual matters. Then it becomes sadhu sangha. And so we have Shraddha, sadhu sangha. Then comes, what's next?
Bhajana Kriya.
Bhajana Kriya. Bhajana Kriya. Kriya, karma. Kriya means action, what you're doing. The person begins to do bhajan. They begin to engage in worship. Then, what happens after that? Carmenji, any guess?
Okay, so it's first faith, and then, so after sadhu sangha, what was the next one you said?
Bhajana Kriya, devotional activities.
Devotional activities?
Yeah.
That was the last one you said?
Yeah. And that one is?
I'm unsure, Prabhu.
Okay, so Hirantoshto Yabadrani. So that's when the things start getting cleaned out of the heart. Shrinvatam Svakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtanaha Hidyanta Shto Hyabadrani. See again here, this is Abhadras again. They are cleansed. So that's called Anartha Nivritti. Anartha. Unvaluable, unnecessary. Artha is like something that's necessary. But this is unnecessary. Anartha. So those initial anarthas are cleansed away. And when they're fully cleansed, then it becomes nishta. You become that's a long process there. That's a big stage there. When they're almost, when the anarthas are almost fully cleansed, there are different levels and different types of anarthas. They're almost fully cleansed. Then it becomes the stage of nishta. The person has strong determination, conviction, and what is called faith. And this faith is coming with great experience. So there are some obstacles that a person may face. But let's read. By regular attendance on classes on the Bhagavatam and rendering service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, whose praise with transcendental songs is established as an irrevocable fact. Here is the remedy for eliminating all inauspicious things in the heart, which are considered to be obstacles on the path of self-realization. The remedy is association of the Bhagavatas. There are two types of Bhagavatas, namely the book Bhagavata and the devotee Bhagavata. Both the Bhagavatas are competent remedies, and both of them, or either of them, can be good enough to eliminate the obstacles. A devotee Bhagavata is as good as the book Bhagavata because a devotee Bhagavata leads his life in terms of the book Bhagavata, and the book Bhagavata is full of information about the personality of Godhead and his pure devotees who are also Bhagavatas. The Bhagavata book and person are identical. The devotee Bhagavata is a direct representation of Bhagavan. There's Bhagavata and Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead. So by pleasing the devotee Bhagavata, one can receive the benefit of the book Bhagavata. Human reason fails to understand how, by serving the devotee Bhagavata or the book Bhagavata, one gets gradual promotion on the path of devotion. But actually, these facts are explained by Srila Narada Dev, who happened to be a maidservant's son in his previous life. The maidservant was engaged in menial service of the sages, and thus he also came in contact with them. And simply by associating with them and accepting the remnants of foodstuffs left by the sages, the son of the maidservant got a chance to become the great devotee in personality, Srila Narada Dev. Also, his name is Sri Narada Muni. Narada Muni. These are the miraculous effects of association of Bhagavatas. And to understand these effects practically, it should be noted that such sincere association of Bhagavatas, one is sure to receive transcendental knowledge very easily, with the result that he becomes fixed in devotional service of the Lord. The more progress is made in devotional service under the guidance of the Bhagavatas, the more one becomes fixed in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. The message of the book Bhagavata is therefore to be received from the devotee Bhagavata, and the combination of these two Bhagavatas will help the neophyte devotee make progress on and on. So we all have hope. So here we'll see some of the obstacles that are becoming cleansed. So we have obstacles from our past karmas. Now you're going to see it's past karmas. Let me just turn off for a second. Any guess what kind of obstacles that could be from your past karmas? There are obstacles from your past bad karmas, but there's also obstacles from your past good karmas. There's also obstacles from imperfectly performing bhakti, and there's also obstacles from aparads against the holy name, or offenses against when we're not chanting properly. So we'll just look at it. Let me see if there's anything else I can pull up. Here I have another little page, another page we can look at. Let me open up the view of this and put it on one page. Zoom in. Oh, zoom more. How do I page? All right, here we go. And so why is this important? Because these stages actually help us understand where we're at, and so we can apply devotional service properly to where we're at. Otherwise, we might take the wrong dose or wrong medicine because we not really understanding of what our situation is. Okay, so these are different. This is here. Source: past karmas, past sins, past bad karmas. So illusion. Identify the body as the body and mind. God is only impersonal. Material world is pleasurable. Religious rituals is a process of spiritual perfection. And these are destroyed. These start to become destroyed. That's why I said almost to nil. These things are later destroyed. There's what is called, you have nishta. Then there's let me see. It's called ruchi or shakti. What is shakti and ruchi first? Let me see. My mind is nishta, ruchi, asakti. Okay. So ruchi means taste. When you engage in spiritual life, not because it's good for you, but because like you really don't want to sleep in at all. You want to wake up super early and just meditate on the sound of Krishna's name because you get such a deep pleasure out of it. That's ruchi. And sakti is even a greater level of attachment where you barely even ever have even a glimmer in your mind. Every once for a millisecond, there is a thought of anything on a material platform, like enjoying temporarily. You're not driven in that way. So at this stage, those things are completely destroyed. So weakness of the heart, desire for fame, hostility, envy, deceit, fault-finding, attachment to things unrelated, material desires, the waves of the whole kind of human condition. Okay, let's see. Let's go over here. Look at this. This is a cool little chart. So here's where you start off. This is consciousness. You see it? Can you see this, everybody?
Yeah.
So this is the consciousness when we start. The consciousness of serving ourselves in the beginning is absolute. And the consciousness of serving Krishna is just a particle. And we start off with just a little faith, past good and bad affection, being affected by past good or bad activities, affected by offenses, affected by the benefit, the material benefits of bhakti. None of those things are being addressed even yet. Then we start to engage in devotional service. And still our consciousness of serving ourselves is pretty much absolute. And the serving Krishna, you just get a little trace, starting to get a little trace of that. But then we start to engage in devotional activities. And instead of serving ourselves, instead of being absolute, we just become full. It's like the tank is like, we just drove a little bit far away from the gas station. It's not totally like dripping out of the tank. It's like, but it's pretty full. And the consciousness of serving Krishna, partial. But at this stage of just engaging devotional service, the effects of bad karma is almost completely destroyed, just at that level. Aparad is partially completely destroyed, and even the desire for devote material benefits through bhakti itself. It's almost partially destroyed. Here, Nartana Vritti, this is that clearing stage. The process of clearing the anarthas, unwanted qualities within the heart, such as lust, anger, greed, pride, etc., is present throughout all the stages of spiritual advancement, mainly between the stages of bhajana, kriya, and nishta, and it is achieved primarily through hearing and chanting of the Lord's names and the association of other devotees. Anarthas have four sources: from past bad activities, sins, karmas; from past good activities; from aparads or offenses, actually, and from bhakti itself, from trying to enjoy wealth or worship. This process relieves the devotee of 5 forms of ignorance, material distress, from which the tendency to arises toward. So you're relieving the ignorance. Ignorance is the reason why a person will do karmic activity. So it's addressing the root of it. So the tendency is to do materially bad or even materially good things. You just want to do things that actually are connecting you to Krishna, and then ultimately just want to do things that is pleasing to Krishna, resulting in fortune or misfortune. These are illusion, false ego, attachment, hatred, fear, or death. Okay, so nishta. So at nishta, the consciousness of serving oneself is almost full, and the consciousness of serving Krishna is pervasive. Ruchi, it's pervasive, and it's almost full of serving Krishna. And then here, as you see, at prema, the consciousness of serving oneself is completely absent. The consciousness of serving Krishna is absolute. You know? And at rati, the consciousness of serving oneself is just like a shadow. And here you see the effects of good and bad karma at nishta, completely gone. The effects of, offenses, pervasive, but then effects of trying to enjoy the effects of bhakti, completely gone. And then absolutely gone at ruchi, almost complete. And then here, completely gone at prema. So devotees watching out for not to make offenses to bhakti itself and to Krishna's name all the way through. So there's a little cool chart. What do you think there? This is put together by Mother Urmila. And so let me pull up this up. So if you see here, so Pat, you have your obstacles born to the past karmas. Then your obstacles born of good karmas. What is that? Like good desire for liberation. Like you're very sattvic and you just want to be free from material existence. Or you have such good karma that you're used to the good life. You want something not good life in this life, or you want maybe you're pious Hindu and you want the good life of the next life. Actually, those are some of the things that get quickly destroyed. It's just later things that are a little bit harder on this side. Love, a desire for worldly gain, worship, and adoration in connection to your spiritual life. That's a big one there. You know? Because of transformation, there's also a lot of respect and honor there. And then aparads against the holy name. What is it? There's described 10 offenses of the holy name, so we don't want to consider it's something just mundane that we want to get something from it. You can read more about that. I know Kashtuba put together a paper that presented it in a little less, more of a kind of a positive way, like kind of 10 positive affirmations of the holy name. Okay, let's see. Let's go back to here. So what are the elements of the verse? So by regularly hearing from the book Bhagavata and serving the devotee Bhagavata destroys all inauspiciousness. So nashta, nashta, are you doing it? Wipe it out. Nashta. Did you do it? Nashta. Aprayeshu, abhadreshu. What is abhadra, Carmen? Abhadra. Abhadra, what is abhadra?
Abhadra.
What is subhadra? Subhadra.
Subhadra. No, I know that, but I was like
Mangala,
thinking.
Mangalayebhyo pi sarvam and Mangala, Mangala.
Mangala. I know that's like I believe you said it was like auspicious.
And so what's the opposite of that?
Inauspicious. So
Yes, abhadra.
abhadra is inauspicious.
Yeah, no. So it destroys all those bad things. Things you don't want. And we looked over some of those things. By just this constant service to the Bhagavatas, the book, and those who are imbibing, who are living examples of the book. And so, here, isn't it? Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nitya bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. So loving service to the Lord, bhaktir bhavati, bhavati, and then bhavati uttama shloke bhakti bhavati naishtiki. Loving service unto the Lord, uttama shloka, is established as an irrevocable fact. So this is leading to, as you see here, nishta. This naishtiki is the nishta. Person's becoming very, their heart can't be swayed. It's not that they're hard-headed. They're soft-hearted. Their heart is fully welcomed towards God, towards Krishna. So they're totally sold out in that sense. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Let's look at here. Any notes here we can see. This is from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. As the impediments to bhakti become generally destroyed by the constant service to the devotees and the Bhagavatam, this stage of nishtita bhakti to Bhagavan who is praised by the greatest sages, becomes established. By serving the devotees in the Bhagavatam, the major portions of the Namaparads become weak. The weakening of the Namaparads continues to the stage of Rati. Naishtiki refers to Nishta, where the mind can easily concentrate on the Lord. So that's what this is the difference between, just practicing, at the Nartan and Vritti stage. This is generally where most of us end up. We're here. We'll come to as practicing sadhakas will be in the Anartan and Vritti stage, the third stage. There's the Shraddha is the first stage, Bhajana Kriya, Sadhusanga, second stage, then the Bhajana Kriya, fourth stage, and then fourth stage is Anartan and Vritti. But then the fifth stage is actually Nishta. So we'll find ourselves, if we can really clean our heart, then the result is it's so easy to concentrate on the Lord. But we find it's actually very hard. Our mind goes all over the place. And that means we're obviously not on Nishta. And it's not necessarily mind, because we say mind means a heart. If our heart's always going towards Krishna in various ways, then that's Nishta. And Madhura Kadamini Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur analyzes abhadra, anarthas, into four types, rising from, okay, we read that. The effects of aparad take longer to destroy and continue to the stage of bhava. So that's what that chart showed us. Even though these impurities are not completely destroyed, bhakti can be performed steadily. So this is Jiva Goswami saying this is different from jnana, which like the really philosophical kind of stoicism of Vedic culture is like it requires a complete destruction of impurities. It says bhakti can be, you can still do bhakti even when you're not pure. So this shows the unimpeded nature of bhakti. Bhakti in the form of meditation becomes constant, naishtiki, by service to the devotees or the Bhagavatam. And here's one stage. Anartha, this is how he's describing it in 14 stages. And 7 is the phrase Nashta Praeshu Badrishu means inauspicious things, including aparads, are almost completely destroyed. Then comes Nishta. Any questions? Questions?
Not so much a question, but steadiness, the last one you spoke about. I forgot how you said it.
Nishta, here. Unshakable resolve. You see it here? On the screen. You see it?
No.
You see my screen? What do you see?
Oh,
We
yes, I
see
see your
the
screen. I see attachment, rati, or bhava, emotion, prema, love.
Okay. And then you see Nishta at all?
No.
Is there any kind of tool I can use? How do you use this stuff? You see?
Oh, okay, well.
There you go.
So Nisha, like steadiness.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of there's a guru who explained that when an airplane is on course, they're not always going to be like on the line, and they have to keep coming back to that line to get to like their desired destination. So that's what it reminded me of.
Yeah. So he's always completely just wanting to go towards the destination. He's not squirreling off. Oh, there's a squirrel. Like a dog. Oh, there's a squirrel. He's fixed. Is resolved towards Krishna. You see these nice things. We'll learn more about that later on. Next verse. Get into that. I haven't used all those tools yet. Anything else? Thank you, Carmen. Oh, here, let's read the last obstacles before Nishta. This has probably come up in our next verse, but drowsiness. This kind of 5 obstacles that arise at the time of hearing, chanting, and remembering. Distraction. So when it's time to hear spiritual knowledge and we find ourselves drowsy and distraction and incompetence, contaminated consciousness, and taste for mundane pleasure, then we shouldn't imagine ourselves like somewhere up above this line. We should understand, yep, I'm Prabh. If we've passed that, then maybe we've actually come towards Nishta. But if, like we say, what's the mantra to get everyone to go to sleep? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And now it's one to get everybody to wake up. Saira Vijaja Dadende Tayaka. This is the time to eat mantra. So because we don't have any real taste yet. We have just like a shadow reflection of a taste. We don't have the real taste. And therefore, we're not able to eat the Bhagavatam. We're supposed to eat it. We're supposed to relish it and digest it. Now, if someone comes up to you and you've eaten at a big feast at the temple, and they're like, "Here, Prabhu, there's like a nice samosa with chutney," and you're like, "Oh, I don't want anymore." So we're full like that. We're full of so many other things. And so when it comes to, let's hear about Krishna, we're like, you have Hogwarts, you have something, Harry Potter, I'm full of Krishna. I know, but if he is able to like take it in, and then he has to, like, sometimes when you eat, you need to go on a walk. You need to like do some exercise and digest it. So similarly, when you apply devotional service, then the digestion, the hunger comes. Oh yes, let me get some more. Let me get some more of this Krishna. But now we have indigestion because our stomach is full of, like, we have junk food. It's like you have too much junk food. You can't even put any food inside. Good food, healthy food, nothing. It's all just packed in the stomach. So we need to do a little exercise. We need to engage in the spiritual activities of bhakti. And then what will come? This eagerness to hear will come. And as we digest and as we exercise it more, then even our appetite will increase even more, and we'll gain more and more ruchi, and then we'll become very attached to asakti. And then Bhava, you see how, look, it's getting so bright, sitting so bright. Bhava is like, it's like, you know how bright the sky gets right before the sun rises. So the Bhava is not yet prema, but it's like, it's just on the horizon. It's just now coming. It comes. Prema. Pure love of Krishna. And so, yeah, this pure love of Krishna, you'll find it has so many, different qualities. Beginning qualities are that it kleshagni. It destroys miseries, destroys the karmas, it destroys the miseries. It gives all the shubha. Remember, bhadra, shubha, da means to give, dar. It gives all the auspiciousness, and then those things develop in their higher stage. It's such a rare quality, sudurlabha. It makes even moksha seem like nothing, and the person it's like fully, like they're full of bliss, super concentrated spiritual bliss. And it's so beautiful and amazing that even Krishna is attracted by it. So, what do you think about that? All right, so let's practice our verse chanting. Anybody on Facebook? Any question? I see one friend. Haribo, Haribo. All right. Carmen raised her hand. Got a question? Go for it. Just raise your hand. Just to say it. Just let it out.
Okay. It's not so much of a question, but it reminds me of what someone says. Well, I forgot his name, but he said we want to make our heart as soft as butter. so Krishna can take it.
Now it's like our heart is like, what do you call it? Not titanium or something like really tough. It's like tungsten or something. It's so hard to get through. Yeah. Cover it over. So yes, make it butter soft. Thank you. Thank you. Nashta prayeshu abhadreshu. Nashta prayeshu abhadreshu. I think we could put Carmen or at least somebody we can unmute because it's just a few of us here. And we can. Nashta prayeshu abhadreshu.
Nasta prayeshu abhadreshu.
Nashta prayeshu prayeshvabhadreshu.
Nasta prayeshu abhadreshu.
Nashta prayeshvabhadreshu.
Nasta prayeshu abhadreshu.
Nashta prayeshvabhadreshu.
Nasta prayeshu abhadreshu.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
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 Nashta prayeshvabhadreshu.
Nasta prayeshu abhadreshu.
And like Nashta is destroyed. Destroyed. You know, it's like, you know, Sarah Connor at the fence. And there's like Terminator, everything is it's all gone. Standing at the fence, skeletons. It's all destroyed. Nashta prayeshu. Almost like, you know, there's a little bit of ashes left after the new. Nashta prayeshvabhadreshu.
Nasta prayeshu abhadreshu.
Yeah, and we can put it together as I know it's shvabhadreshu. Shvabhadreshu.
Shvabhadreshu.
Nashta prayeshvabhadreshu.
Nasta prayeshu abhadreshu.
Nashta prayeshu shvabhadreshu.
Nasta prayeshu abhadreshu. Getting it all tongue twisted now.
Nashta prayeshvabhadreshu.
Nasta prayeshu abhadreshu.
And you can just say this swabha.
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 Swa.
Swa.
Ha.
Ba.
Swa. Swa.
Swa.
Swa. Ba. Dre. Shu.
Swabhadreshu.
Right here it says Shva. Ba. Dre. Shu.
Swabhadreshu.
Nashta prayeshvabhadreshu.
Nasta prayeshu. Now whenever I put it with everything else, it's like, what? I don't know why. Nasta prayeshu abhadreshu.
Nashta prayeshvabhadreshu.
Nasta prayeshu Vedreshu
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke. Bhagavati Uttama Shloke.
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke.
Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. You know, if someone becomes a brahmachari as a vow for their whole life, from youth to the time they die, it's called a naistiki. Naistiki brahmachari.
Oh, wow.
Naistiki. Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. This word Bhavati, Bhavan, Bhava, it's often, you know, it's just like the verb in English to be, becomes. So bhakti becomes, you know, what is it? Unshakable, irrevocable. Bhakti becomes unshaken by regular Bhagavata Sevaya. You get also the Bhadras become almost blown up completely, and by the worship. This is serving Bhagavan, who is praised in so many great supreme shlokas. Bhakti becomes fixed. Nashta prayishva bhadreshu.
Nasta Priyeshu Apreshu.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke.
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke.
Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Okay, Carmenji, your turn. Your turn. Give us a reading.
Okay. Nashta prayeshva abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhakti bhavati naishaki.
Okay, now tell us the translation. Read it once and then see if you can say it without looking at it.
Okay, translation. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact.
Very nice. So let's see. Can you do it? Try to do it with your eyes closed or with a few blinks?
Okay.
Blink.
Okay. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam, and by rendering
Of
service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome in the heart is almost completely destroyed. And loving service unto the personality of Godhead,
who is praised
with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact.
Very nice, yes. All right, that was a beautiful one. Nashta prayeshu badreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. And as you see it, we go on. Stop just as much now, but advanced view. And we can just purport. Then it becomes, you see even deeper cleanse. Tadarajastamo bhava kama loba jayascha ye cheta iter anad vidham sthitam satve prasidati. So effects of passion and ignorance, such as lust and desire, disappear from the heart. And then the devotee is established in sattva guna, becomes completely happy. Evam prasana manaso bhagavan bhakti yogataha bhagavati tattva vijnanam mukta sangasya jayate. Thus established, he's established in goodness. The man whose mind has been enlivened by such a contact with devotional service gains positive scientific knowledge. It means he's actually having direct perception. Bhagavan tattva vijnanam. He's actually having not knowledge, but experience, realization, in the stage of liberation from all material association. So, yeah, good stuff comes. All right, so if we can stop here. Any last quick comments? Otherwise, we can all take our rest, start our day.
Thank you. This is wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Hare Krishna. We both have a good evening. Om Tat Sat. Thanks a lot.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.